Professional Education. Final Coaching. Volume 1, Set 7. Number 1. Which appeal or appeals to the most number of senses? Answer: field trip to the zoo. Number 2. Which instructional material or materials is or are most fit in contextualized learning? Answer: field trip. Number 3. Based on the contributions of the 5 senses to learning, which instructional material will be most effective? Answer: multisensory aid. Number 4. You want to teach democracy in school government by patterning procedures of the local and national elections. Which technique will you use? Answer: simulation. Number 5. Where do you make the correction of your notes while using the overhead projector? Answer: on the slide. Number 6. Which should you use if you want to teach the human digestive system in such a way that the pupils can manipulate the organs? Answer: model of the digestive system. Number 7. When you use the overhead projector for topic presentation, point to the blank. Answer: OHP slide. Number 8. To improve listening and speech skills, which will be most appropriate? Answer: audio recording. Number 9. Which of the following materials does not belong to the group? Answer: realia. Number 10. Which of these instructional materials will be most effective to the tactile learners? Answer: real objects. 11. To cater to the needs of the diverse types of learners, what materials must be prepared? Answer: multi-purpose materials. 12. Why do teachers use varied materials in class? Answer: to sustain the interest of the learners. 13. Learning materials to be prepared for the lower grades must be blank. Answer: AOTA. Highly manipulative and non-toxic and colorful and durable and safe. 14. In preparing storyboards for PowerPoint presentations, which must be strictly observed? Answer: the rule of 6x6 must be applied in the slides. 15. To make the materials highly engaging, what must teachers do? Answer: make the materials interactive. 16. In the preschool class, which materials will greatly help in developing manual dexterity? Answer: building blocks or models. 17. There is a scarcity of materials in remote barrios. As a creative and innovative teacher, what must you do? Answer: prepare improvised materials. 18. What can the teachers in one school do to maximize their community resources to ensure that effective instruction is employed at all times? Answer: have a learning resource center of materials prepared by teachers. 19. You were assigned to handle a multi-grade class. What instructional materials must be utilized to provide for the needs of each level? Answer: multisensory materials. 20. Why are there more illustrations in elementary books than in the upper levels? Answer: elementary pupils are less imaginative yet. They need more exposure. 21. In putting up exhibits, what instructional materials must be displayed to ensure increased participation? Answer: interactive models. 22. Which of the materials will be most interesting to the global learners? Answer: non-printed materials and electronic materials. 23. You like to show a close representation of the size and shape of the Earth and its location in the entire solar system. What is the best instructional aid? Answer: model. 24. In a project-based multimedia learning strategy, the students learn new knowledge and basic skills. Aside from being actively engaged in the learning task, they get involved in blank. Answer: planning, designing, and producing a multimedia product for presentation. 25. As a teacher employing the project-based multimedia learning strategy, what are some limitations you expect from the encounter? Answer: there is a need for extending the time to use several media, and the presentation of the product is not an easy task, and the technology skills to produce a product may be lacking. 26. The teacher is the first audiovisual aid in the classroom. How can she act as one? Answer: have a pleasing physical appearance and modulated voice. 27. Ms. Lee wants to show to the class a magnified picture of the Mayan volcano mounted on a bond paper. Which one will she use? Answer: opaque projector. 28. With the number of senses to be stimulated as criterion, Which one should be first in the list? Answer: multisensory aid. 29. Teacher V wants to check prior knowledge of his pupil about water pollution. She writes the main topic, water pollution, in the center of the chalkboard and encircles it. Then she asks the pupils to provide information that can be clustered around the main topic. Which technique did the teacher employ? Answer: semantic mapping. 30. What should be the first consideration of the teacher in the choice of instructional media? Answer: objectives of the lesson. 31. Audiovisual aids are used primarily blank. Answer: as part of a planned lesson. 32. According to research, persons learn best with what they blank. Answer: see and hear. 33. Assuming that the following are possible, which activity will be most appropriate if the teacher wants to have a first-hand knowledge of a marine community? Answer: educational trip. 34. Teacher C wants to develop moral reasoning among her pupils. Which one should be employed? Answer: simulation. 35. Teacher D wants to develop moral reasoning among her pupils. Which one should she employ? Answer: games. 36. Teacher E wants to develop the listening ability of her pupils. Which should he do less? Answer: repeating questions and students' responses. 37. A big story breaks in your local newspaper. You want to use the headline as an inquiry device. You might begin by: Answer: asking the class to infer connotations and denotations from the headline. 38. In a problem-solving model, questions concerning events or data are blank. Answer: raised by the students. 39. Miss Carlos is an elementary grades teacher in a rural community, not reached by electricity yet, but she has some tapes which can be useful to teach the topics on weather. What practical audio-visual material should she use instead? Answer: pictures. 40. A group of 6-year-old children were seated on the floor, facing a classroom TV set and viewing a film entitled Romeo and Juliet. Teacher Anne thought that it would be nice to let her children see one of the best stories ever told. What rule in the selection of the multimedia did she violate? Answer: appropriateness of the film. 41. Which of the following belongs to non-projected media? Answer: film strips. 42. What teaching method can best be taught by the use of computers? Answer: individualized instruction. 43. Most classes are taught as a whole group. This structure of classroom grouping usually caters to blank. Answer: average learners. 44. In determining the strategy or method of teaching to carry out the objective of the lesson, the preparedness of the teacher should be considered. It implies that the teacher should blank. Answer: master the subject matter. 45. Curriculum is defined as the total learning experiences of the children in school. Which part of curriculum will assure these experiences? Answer: curriculum implementation. 46. Which teaching delivery will have the most use of educational technology? Answer: distance education. 47. Which of the following innovations in education and curriculum utilizes educational technology as its primary delivery? Answer: ISEC cells. 48. Time-tested methods are as effective as modern methods of teaching, even if these are traditional. Which of the following methods is time-tested? Answer: inductive method. 49. Which are the most important concerns about the use of ICT in instruction? Answer: AOTA. Developing appropriate curriculum materials that allow students to construct meaning and develop knowledge through the use of ICT, and devising strategies to meaningfully integrate technology into the curriculum, and using pedagogical skills related to technology, and providing teachers with skills for using software applications. 50. Which are the basic components of a curriculum design? Answer: standards, learning competencies, and evaluation. 51. Which of the following statements best describes metacognition as a strategy for curriculum augmentation? Answer: it is learning how to learn and thinking about how. 52. Which of the following should be considered in managing the preschool program in public schools? Answer: cooperation of PTCA and provision of teacher training, and provision of facilities, materials, and equipment.
53. Mrs. Santos wants to determine immediately the learning difficulties of her students. Which of the following do you expect her to undertake? Answer: administer a diagnostic test.
54. Which statement or statements is or are not true about teaching, learning, and assessment? Answer: curriculum and assessment are a little but related, and assessment is separate from curriculum and instruction.
55. Instead of assigning our students to discuss how to write a good editorial, ask them to write one for the school organ. Which principle underlies this practice? Answer: promote meaningful connections between classroom subject matter and real-world contexts. 56. You want to engage your students in a small group discussions. Which topic lends itself to a lively discussion? Answer: the exclusion of Pluto as a planet. 57. Teacher F asks one student, Rachel, can you summarize what we have just read? Remember, the title of this section of the chapter. This an example of a teacher's effort at blank. Answer: scaffolding. 58. Which technique makes your students teach and learn at the same time? Answer: peer teaching. 59. Which technique in cooperative learning is used when new information is divided equally among all group members and each student teaches his, or her, portion to the other group members? Answer: jigsaw. 60. For value education, which technique is most appropriate? Answer: conflict story. 61. When you teach skills that are critical to the learning of the next topics, which should you employ? Answer: direct instruction and mastery learning. 62. If you want your students to develop first-hand knowledge of physical or social phenomena, which should you use? Answer: discovery learning. 63. Your objective is to make your students who cannot yet work independently practice using new information with the help of a classmate who is able and capable. Which will you make use of? Answer: peer tutoring. 64. Which should you use when the lesson involves tasks that are too large or too difficult for a single student to accomplish independently? Answer: cooperative learning. 65. If you want your students to develop reading comprehension and learning strategies, which one should you employ? Answer: reciprocal teaching. 66. For mastery and meaningful learning, which teaching methodology is not encouraged? Answer: decontextualized teaching. 67. In which the document are the contents of each subject in the elementary level contained? Answer: Philippine Elementary Learning Competencies, PELC. 68. Which primary factor is considered in designing the curriculum? Answer: the learners. 69. Why must lesson objectives and course objectives in the syllabi be aligned with the aims of education as embodied in the Philippine Constitution? Answer: to instill the ideals and goals of the country. 70. What is an implication of this on instructional objectives? Would you tell me which way I ought to go from here? Asked Alice. That depends a good deal on where you want to go, said the cat. I don't care much where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat. Answer: with specific objectives, the lesson becomes more focused. 71. Instructional objectives in the affective domain includes receiving, responding, valuing. The highest level is blank. Answer: conceptualization of a value system. 72. Cooperative learning approach makes use of a classroom organization where students work in teams to help each other learn. What mode of grouping can facilitate the skill and values desired? Answer: heterogeneous. 73. The cycle in curriculum planning constitutes 3 fundamental elements: the goals and objectives, followed by the body of learning experiences and resources, methodologies, and ends with a, or an, blank. Answer: assessment of outcomes. 74. To educate students for intellectual performance, they must be taught that knowledge is built from the blank answer inside. 75. Wiggins and Mitai, 1998, maintain that in Understanding by Design, UBD, the theory of understanding and backward design process are compatible with problem-based learning. They support the idea that the developmental level of student will determine how much conceptualization is appropriate. Answer: in-depth. 76. Central to the design approach in UBD is the need to blank that evoke in-depth understanding. Answer: design lessons and assessment. 77. When a student is asked to draw a conclusion from a group of given data, what cognitive domain is involved? Answer: synthesis. 78. The process of task analysis ends up in the formulation of blank. Answer: enabling objectives. 79. What kind of world would we have if there were no music, is an example of which type of question? Answer: open-ended. 80. Which should be emphasized more for survival in a fast-changing world? Answer: learning skills and processes.
81. A teacher starts a lesson in Araling Panlipunan by defining migration. Then she explains the definition and goes on to give examples. The teacher is using the blank. Answer: deductive method.
82. Mr. Ana's lesson is about the parts of the gumamila. He asked his pupils per group to bring a real flower to study the different parts. After the group work labeling each part, the teacher gave a test. What would be the best type of test he can give? Answer: matching type. 83. A portfolio is a purposeful collection of students' evidence of progress over a period of time. It can be used as an assessment tool to measure learning outcomes of learners who blank the answer can critique their own work. 84. After demonstrating how to dissect a frog to grade 6 pupils, Miss Reyes wants to know if her pupils learned from her activity. Which method of lesson evaluation would best match her demonstration? Answer: return demonstration by the pupils. 85. In curriculum, the basic principle is plan, teach and test, and the three should always be aligned. This principle implies that? Answer: what to test is based on what has been taught. 86. In Understanding by Design curricular approach, the first consideration is about blank. Answer: desired results. 87. The use of mother tongue-based multilingual education, or MTB-MLE, in the curriculum of basic education means that learners blank answer shifts only to the second language after the mastery of the first language. 88. The MTB-MLE will enable each learner to develop all, except one. Answer: learn all languages to develop nationalism. 89. In curriculum development, the teacher should always bear in mind that answer: objectives, methods, and evaluation are aligned. 90. When instruction in the curriculum focuses on the mastery of the content and the evaluation that follows measures only the knowledge learned, such curriculum design is answer: subject-centered. 91. The parent learning support system targets the acceptance of the parent's responsibility of educating the child. In attending to this responsibility, which role, or roles, of parents should be given priority? Answer: as a model for children's development, and as a provider of home environment conducive to learning. 92. Every school should plan for and support students with learning needs, which two vital components have to be addressed to provide such needs. Answer: principles of inclusive education, and learning styles, abilities, and disabilities of students. 93. Schools are communities of learners committed to predetermined measurable quality criteria for student learning. Which statement best describes schools that will ensure attainment of such criteria? Answer: everyone in the school is accountable for student outcomes. 94. When the schools take the responsibility for developing high-quality performance, teachers develop what ethic and standards of practice? Answer: accountability. 95. Gardner, 1999, states, "There are many great teachers, but the lack of coordination among classes, and the absence of accountability to those outside the door, is lamentable." Who is referred to as outside the door? Answer: school officials. 96. Gardner, 1999, states, There are many great teachers, but the lack of coordination among classes, and the absence of accountability to those outside the door, is lamentable. What does Gardner's statement imply? Answer: need for collaboration. 97. Dennis Sparks says, results-driven education judges success, not by the courses students take, or grade they receive, but by what they actually know, and can do as a result of their time in school. How is effectiveness measured by results-driven education? Answer: by using relevant data to promote continuous school improvement. 98. Dennis Sparks says, results-driven education judges success not by the courses students take, or grade they receive, but by what they actually know and can do as a result of their time in school. What students actually know and can do after schooling leads to what learning? Answer: lifelong. 99. Students learn best when they discover things by themselves. What materials will be most effective in conducting experiments? Answer: models and real objects. 100. The teacher is still the best visual aid. What does this statement mean? Answer: the teacher is always the best medium in the teaching-learning process. I have referenced various BLEPT review materials including PNU, Lorimar, EDU Phil, and CAS. Thank you for watching. If you find this video useful, please consider subscribing to my channel for more contents like this. Much love, Sharella.